Why are we here? What is our purpose? What were we put on this planet Earth to accomplish? What should we be focused on right now? What is the final goal or objective of life? These are the existential questions that we ask ourselves. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you what I believe the purpose of life is. And I'm going to use an example that I created, and I feel like it's going to resonate with you guys very well. So let me get right into this. Picture it like this. You have a classroom of 8 billion people. It's a pretty big classroom. And the teacher comes up to the chalkboard and says, "Okay, students, today I will be assigning a science project for you guys because I am a science teacher." So we all write it down in our notebook that we got a science project, and we head out the door. And during the time where we should be working on this science project, we become influenced by other classes and other schools that have people working on history. There's a bunch of people working on history, and it seems like the history is coming a lot easier to us because we're able to observe it. We're seeing all these people working on it. So then what happens is on the due date of the project, 99% of the classroom, instead of following the teacher's instructions and coming in with the science project, 99% of the class comes in with a history project. And then that 1 percentile, or that 0.01, it's a very small percentile, understood the teacher's assignment and came in with a science project. Now, the plot twist is the teacher is nowhere to be found. The teacher is gone. Gonzo. Nowhere to be found. So what happens is the 99 percentile, since they are the majority, they decide that the teacher would have been okay with the history project since we all thought that was the assignment. The teacher must be okay with it. Therefore, let's change the class from science class to history class, and we are just going to assume that a history project would have been okay and the teacher would have gave us all A's, so that's fine, and now this is a history class. And on top of it, we say anyone that worked on the science project and turned in a science project, what are you doing? You are weird. You are strange. You should be secluded. You don't make any sense. This is life. This is literally the most perfect example of life that I could create. So now explaining this in the sense of life, we got 8 billion people, and God is the teacher, or the universe is the teacher, or Brahman, or Allah, or the simulation God, or the Big Bang creator, or whatever. That is the teacher. They put us all on this planet, and what we were given were these enlarged frontal lobes that gave us the ability to think and observe. Like Marcus Aurelius said, we were the reasonable animal, and what we did with that reason was we observed the animals, and we saw that some of them were acting out of pride. They wanted more power than one another. Some were acting out of lust. Some were acting out of temptation. Some were acting out of violence. And we took these things, and instead of saying, these are what we shouldn't do, we almost took the animals as teachers. Just as I said with the history class, like the animals are almost the history project. We're observing and saying, okay, we should do this. And that's exactly what we did, is we started building a life and a society and a civilization around greed and pride and lust. And if you look back in history, it just shows this. I mean, as much as I hate to say it, even a lot of the religious scriptures show this. They show a lot of violence, and they show a lot of greed, and they show a lot of, lust. And on top of it, they're the very things that tell us not to do these things. It's interesting. But then, if you just keep fast forwarding through history, what's happened is what is actually not normal has become the norm because it's easier And everything in this world that's easy is bad for you. Everything in this world that's hard is good for you. And we've just made easy things the norm. If you're in a room with 100 people and 99 of them are eating pizza, but you're eating vegetables and fruit, you're looked at as the weirdo. Now, if 8 billion people see the world as, okay, 9 to 5, retire, pass away, this system is 100% it, there couldn't be anything else to the world, and you're on the other side, like Nietzsche and Watts and, some of these thinkers that saw further beyond, you're looked at as crazy. You're looked at as, what is this person even talking about? I mean, sure, there were people that really loved hearing about Alan Watts's ideas or Nietzsche's ideas. These were strong philosophers. But I'm saying that for the most part, people just ignored and stuck to the status quo. Now, this is a video about what the purpose of life is. Now, I just showed you what happened and why we lost track of the purpose of life. But think about if we were to say any of the ideas of life were true. Pick any religion, pick any scientifical idea that you have. If any of them are true, what do we have to go off of? We have to go off of the fact that we were put on this planet with our body, with our mind, with the environment around us. It wasn't just one of us, it was many of us, so there's connection. There's the opposite sex, and there's the ability to love, and there was some form of why are we here? There must be some form of reason why we're here. And then you have your inner self, the ability to sit in silence, because it must have been easier to sit in silence when you didn't have to live up to societal standards. So once you realize that the world that we live in is basically a product of us just being influenced and being influenced and being influenced by the generations before us and our ancestors before us and the very first people being influenced by animals, you start to realize that we fell completely off course of the science project. We all started making a history project. We started listening to other things and said, this is what we're supposed to do. But the teacher or God or Brahman or the simulation creator, Big Bang person, whatever, they told us, here you are, you got a body, you got a mind, you got the nature around you, you got each other, you can fall in love, you can believe in something, and you can sit there in your thoughts or you can sit there in silence. This is what you have to work with. That's the purpose of life. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if this resonated with you at all. And yeah, I believe that we need to stick to these 7 pillars of life. This is where we derived from. This is our primordial instinct, but we've just branched off. We started working on the history project and we just started telling ourselves that it's correct. It's not. Let's get back to the science project. I'm not saying to, leave society. I'm not saying that, but just don't be bothered as much by society and the things that are expected of us, because it literally has nothing to do with why we were put on this planet Earth. But yeah, all right. Thank you. Thank you for watching.